Marianas. I'm Troy Torres.
And I'm Danielle Baza.
It is 6:08 a.m. on Tuesday, the 9th of August, 2022. Thank you so much for joining us here on the 7th floor of the DNA building in Hagåtña, Guam. When we come back, we'll bring you our top stories from Kandit today.
As a defense attorney, I've represented many people who, if they weren't poor or they had received a higher education, may have taken a different path. As senator, I will propose a scholarship for those whose struggles are less academic and more financial. Let's keep our university full, not our prison. I'm Thomas Fisher. I not only approved this message, I wrote it.
Paid for by Tom for Guam, Drake Diaz, Treasurer.
I just want to say from the heart, we supported our primo for the longest time. The reality is we're supporting the team that we feel is the right for governor and lieutenant governor today. If you want somebody that you could talk to, if you want somebody that can listen, feel your pain and your challenges, this is the right team. This is genuine. And they've been doing a damn good job for the last 4 years.
We all know that one of the pillars of the Democratic Party has always been the Uggan family. We're the party of the working people. We're the ones that are pulling people out of poverty. We're the ones that can be relied upon. We're the ones that will help the people. Please vote for Governor Luliangro and myself. Please deliver a win for us in the primary. Viva Familia Uggan!
This is Governor Lulian Guerrero, and I approve this message.
Bottom line is we're going to make you a better person. You're going to be healthier and fitter than you were before.
Looking for a place to rent on Guam, you may have noticed the majority of listings for a whopping $22.50 a month. The asking price for sure is outside the reach of most working-class Guamanians. You may be able to find cheaper apartments for about $1,700 a month, but those are fixer-uppers or they're too small for families. Couple these extraordinary prices with the cost of living of everything else. Car payments, gas, power, water, groceries, phone bills, and more, and it is little wonder why Guamanian families have been moving stateside in droves. Is the grass greener on the other side? Governor Lulian Guerrero has assigned blame for the inflated cost of living on the coronavirus pandemic, global markets, and the war in Ukraine. But data reported by the National Public Radio, or NPR, from a report by Redfin suggests something else. While rents have gone up nationally over the past year, the national median price of rent of $2,002 a month still is cheaper than Guam's going price. In fact, according to the research, compared to the rents in the 50 largest metropolitan areas of the nation, Guam is a more expensive place to rent a home or apartment than nearly half of these large and expensive cities. See the rest of this story on CandidNews.com.
Turning to news affecting both the Commonwealth and Guam, Guam Customs Director Ike Pareto confirmed to Kandit that a boat registered in Saipan, a 20-foot bayliner, a boat that carried Chinese nationals from the CNMI to the Higatnia Boat Basin, was transferred to the ownership of one of the migrants the day before the nationals arrived on Guam. And the people who transferred the boat are connected directly to the governor of the Commonwealth himself. Stay tuned for this story this morning on Kandit.
What is the motive behind Governor Leon Guerrero stashing away about $320 million in federal discretionary funds? Today, Kandit delves a little deeper into the sense and sensibility of keeping money stored away for years that Congress meant to help Guamanians overcome today's struggles brought on by the pandemic. Is the reason really an investment in healthcare when GMH is falling apart and the administration continues to neglect the maternity ward? We'll take a closer look today.
Finally, there are priorities in public service, like police presence, public schools, and the hospital. And then there are the not-so-important functions, like the Higatnia Restoration and Redevelopment Authority. Kandit today takes a look at how much of your money has been spent on HRRA's functions and what exactly that agency has done with your money. Here's a little preview. The agency that's supposed to implement a master plan to redevelop the island's capital has been busy hosting beauty pageants. Find out more on Kandit today.
Thank you so much for. I can't wait for that story in HRRA. You know, I've been.
That Higatnia.
I've been. You know, when the governor shut everything down, and then she reopened the government, and like everybody was making the money if you're in the government or whatever, and she said, there are essential services that the government needs to provide. One of the things I've always wondered was, what the hell is so essential about the Higatnia Restoration and Redevelopment Authority? And as we approach a period where federal funds will run out and the government of Guam is going to be in a dire financial situation again, it just makes me wonder, about the priorities in government. So I'm glad you're doing that story. What are you finding out so far?
Well, they're 98% done as of fiscal year 2021.
98. Well, they're supposed to be 98% done with the Higatnia Master Plan and implementation.
And with landscaping, with restoring the... What building is that? Yeah.
They had a pageant.
Yeah.
Am I correct?
Yeah. So
is
there
anywhere in their mandate that says that they're mandated to hold beauty pageants? Is that?
It says nothing about that. It says it says something about the culture, to restoring the reviving the culture. I never knew that there was a Surrender Festival. I knew there was the Liberation.
That was a bit of a stretch for their mandate. Eric, is your microphone on? You got some comments for us from our audience?
Good morning, Peter Tureen.
Oh, hi, Peter.
From YouTube. He's watching us on YouTube.
Oh,
hi to our YouTube audience.
Everybody saying good morning and love you.
Morning.
Yeah, Cadence and Nicholas, where's Johnny? Right there.
Cadence and Nicholas,
Yes.
Johnny is right here. She's right to the corner. As a matter of fact, tomorrow morning, she's going to take my place here at the news because we got a complaint about false advertisement with the banner. The banner of Good Morning Marianas does not include my rugged face. It includes the pretty faces of Johnny and Danielle.
You're pretty, bro. We're related.
Hey, that's what you call marketing, all right? So Johnny and Danielle will be doing the news tomorrow morning. Patricia Duenas says, that is true, Troy. It's talking about the rent. I've been looking for something and I can't find anything because I really only retired. And we had a story yesterday where we interviewed senatorial candidate Montecillo Tyron about the cost of rent and how it has, and coupled with the effects of the shutdowns that the governor ordered and the pandemic really affected people. And there's such a sad story about a homeless couple who she and her grandson Aston come across when they go to Winchell's and again. Aston likes donuts. And so they came across this homeless couple. And you can see it on the story on CandidNews.com, but I'll give you a little brief on it. Aston likes to share his donuts with them. They talk all the time. Apparently, the woman is just such a sweet lady. She'll tell you, God bless you, have a nice day. They even gave Mana's grandson Sky like a little thing of sky flakes. These people who have nothing. So their situation isn't what some people might say that, if you're homeless, you're lazy or whatever. But Mana says, these are not lazy people. They just can't catch a break. So the husband lost his job during the pandemic. And then they couldn't afford their home with their children, so they lost their home when they couldn't afford the rent, and everything's going up, right? And then she lost her job because of, when you become homeless, it's not like you can find places easily to go use the restroom or to shower, to brush your teeth. Maybe they lost their car. I'm not sure what the story is, but she lost her job too, and then they lost their children. The government took their children away, and so on a weekly basis, their priority is just to see their kids, to visit their kids. It's a very sad story, and it's a sad story all around because they're not the only ones. They were the unlucky ones because they didn't even have the resources. As everything happened so quickly, they didn't even have the resources so that they could relocate, like hundreds of Guamanian families have done since the pandemic, and
Well, maybe HRRA can help with that because they have employment.
They have a lot of funding. Yeah, we taxpayers give them a lot of money.
Residential assistance, it says.
They have residential assistance.
Yeah.
I've got near restoration and redevelopment. That's interesting. I can't wait for your story.
Cool.
Now, school starts tomorrow. Hallelujah to you parents who have been braving it out with your kids and appreciating how much teachers have done for your lives and your sanity during the school year. That school year starts tomorrow.
Yeah.
Are you excited?
So excited.
To get those kids out of your house?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a job to cook breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and I'm not a good cook.
Have you?
Poor Grandma Claire.
Danielle doesn't know that you're supposed to geisa the onions first and then brown the meat to take that taste
throw
away.
it in there.
She just throws it all in. Add water. Plant. So, do you know, because your kids are going to different schools, right, throughout the public school system?
They haven't said which one has no aircon.
Have you asked?
I haven't asked yet. I haven't even.
So we got some messages coming in that at least one school they're asking parents if they can bring in fans because they don't even where there are broken aircons, they don't have fans. And one of the Lou supporters wrote, as a defense of this no aircon thing, wrote something like, when we were in school,
of course
there was no aircon and it was fine. Yeah, but back then the windows, it was 5 degrees cooler for sure. But the windows had louvers that could open, and there were fans. They were the ones mounted on the corners, and they swiveled. Remember those in the schools? And so there was circulation, there was ventilation, and there was
smoke in the classroom.
You could smoke in the classroom. You can still do that today, Chalo. Kids still do that. I don't even know if they wait to go to the restroom anymore. But anyway, aside from the realities of public schools, right? So you don't have that ventilation and circulation.
And there are more trees.
And let's not forget, it is now against the law, according to the Every Child is Entitled to an Adequate Public Education Act, to have a classroom where the temperature is above 78 degrees Fahrenheit. And of course the temperature, if there's no aircon, is going to be above 78 degrees Fahrenheit. It is hot. It's hot. And it's going to be hot until like November or December or something like that. And I don't know what they're going to do about this, but there's not going to be aircon.
I would take my students to the governor's office and sit my butt there.
So Johnny's saying that if she was a teacher, she would take her students to the governor's office and sit her butt there. And they got aircon there. The aircon there is like 66 degrees, 68
very nice,
degrees.
very comfortable in there.
It's very comfortable. It is.
I could sit there all day. I'm going to call the schools today.
And then the top thing that, aside from the Kenya land scam, the top thing that I don't know if we're going to bring you a story today about it because actually I've been working on this for quite some time on the research, and now that the research is all compiled, it's putting together a story about that $320 million that's sitting over at the bank, at the Treasury of Guam, which just so happens to be the same bank where the governor of Guam, who controls the disposition of this money, it's at her discretion, owns a 40% stock interest. And so we'll try to get you that story today. I can't make any promises about it. We wanted to bring you a story about the Archdiocese of Agana, but one of the sources changed his story, and so we cannot, in good conscience, do that story anymore. But it would have been an interesting one. But there's more that we're taking a look at regarding the Archdiocese of Agana and what appears to be a reported vulturous power struggle as some in the Archdiocese are talking about the health, unfortunately, the poor health of Archbishop Michael Burns. And so that's not something that will come out today, but it is, keep it on your radar. That's something that we're working on. Anyway, where can people get these stories that we talked about today?
Sure, you can get these in-depth stories at kanditnews.com.
We are proud to bring you, beginning this Saturday at 6 a.m., that's August 13, Kababayan Kasali Kayo. Did I say that right?
Yeah.
Kababayan Kasali Kayo.
Sounds great.
Yes.
And it means friends,
Fellow countrymen.
Fellow countrymen. We are together.
Yes.
Fellow countrymen, let's do this together. Fellow countrymen, we are together. Kababayan Kasali Kayo, it's our Filipino talk show hosted by the newest member of our family, Sally Aquino. Now, please join us in turning our attention to 93.3 FM The Point. That's on the FM dial, 93.3. The Point. It is the Ray Gibson Show with Ray Gibson, the real Joe Cruz, Donna D with the news, and Jerry Roberts with your inspirational story for the day, sometime around 7:30, 7:40 a.m. It's the only talk show, morning talk show in Guam of any consequence whatsoever. It's where you'll get some good laughs, the latest in politics and the news from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. every weekday, Monday to Friday. And from 4 to 6 p.m., we turn our attention to Tall Tales with Bob Klitsky and with Jose Martinez. For Kandit News, I'm Troy Torres.
And I'm Danielle Baza.
Have a great morning. Good morning, Marianas.